Hi there, I'm Chris-Rachel Oslin with the Austin Post.
And I'm Gavin Stone with Fanboy TV, and we are here in our South by Southwest live show with
the director of Zaiyat.
I'm Deniz Tortum, director of Zaiyat.
Okay, so this is a very serious movie. Let's tell the audience just a little bit about what is this movie?
This movie is a narrative feature, and it is set in Istanbul, Turkey. And in the beginning of the film, there's this man who falls into the Bosphorus, and the Bosphorus is this kind of river which divides Istanbul, and it like one side is Asia, one side is Europe, and he falls in there and he gets lost. And all the film is about his son looking for him, trying to find him, but half-heartedly, and dealing with all the family drama. And there's lots of drama in the film. Like there's lots of drama. Like the drama is enough for an Almodovar film, but like it underplays it, and like it makes it insignificant and just uses it as an excuse to do other things. It's more of a meditative film, I would say.
I would say it's visually just stunning. I really, really like the actual look of it. And I feel like for audiences that are not as always keen on foreign films, just the fact that you've got something that is just so visually gripping is a good reason to go see it all by itself.
Yeah, thank you. I mean...
So, you know, there's a bunch of... I can kind of see you're influenced by a bunch of filming styles.
What would you say the influences are?
Well, that's what I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
What influences you into your style? Because it's very interesting and it's very straight and it's very, I mean, just your framing alone was really good.
I mean, I did a lot of photography too, but I think I would say my main influence is kind of this like international art house cinema. I was watching lots of like Bellatar, like kind of the Eastern European cinema, but also there's the influence of American avant-garde and like mostly like landscape films like Peter Hutton, James Benning, I would say. And their sense of framing is there too. And also lots of early films like Ozu and Bresson a bit.
It's interesting when you bring up first that you were a photographer, because I find that when you have a specific background, like I came from animation, we approach films very differently in photography because you have to be very aware of your canvas, whereas people who just start making films, their canvas is everywhere. But when you're limited to like in animation and photography, you are knowing exactly what's going to be there. You set it up just right. It makes a very different feel for a movie than someone who doesn't have that type of background. They're just like, yeah, we're going to film here and here and here, and we're going to move the camera here. It's interesting that you brought that up because I have that very same philosophy.
Yeah, that's true. Also, all the people I'm influenced by, they're like very economical in their framing and like in their uses of composition. So, kind of like just have what is enough. That's also important for me. And in editing too, like don't put anything extra and always go for the economy, I guess.
Yeah, the minimalist approach does work, especially in a movie like this.
I also feel like I really liked the whole East versus, well, I shouldn't say versus, but East compared to West, rather, aspect going on, because actually my background is in history, and so I know a fair amount about ancient Turkey. And I feel like because it's right there on the cusp, it's not quite the Middle East, it's not quite Europe, and that's a lot of what you end up exploring in that. What motivated you as a filmmaker to go into that?
I mean, that's true, but that's also like personally something I don't really like, that kind of East versus West debate, because like especially with Orhan Pamuk, he's this novelist from Turkey, won the Nobel Prize, and like especially after him, all the discussions and the debate about Turkey is kind of like stuck between East and West. But yeah, I mean, there's something, of course, like there's a great value in that, but I feel like it kind of makes like the discussion a bit superficial. But I mean, if you live in Turkey, like of course it's between East and West, and like Istanbul is like this side is Europe and this side is Asia. But yeah, I mean, of course, like right now, like with the political situation, social situation, it is always kind of a struggle between conservative values and liberal values. And trying to figure out where to belong. And right now, like Turkey is like going more towards Middle East, mostly because I feel like for economical reasons. Because that's
well,
where
and
the money
I
is,
mean, all the applications to the EU are like, never mind. We'll take all of your immigrants, but joining.
They've been dissing us for a long way.
Forever, pretty much.
So bringing up the political climate, and you know, we always hear such bad things from that region of the world in the news. How they're full of terrorists. You can't do anything. You don't have freedom to do anything. You made a movie. Did you have any
Well, I mean, it's
harsh?
Turkey. They're
Well,
not-
yeah.
It's Turkey though.
But
it's
that
like
whole
it's totally
area
different. Uh-huh.
gets painted kind of with a broad brush. Did
I
you
mean,
ever
that's
run
true.
across anything that they were like, "Oh, you can't make this. You can't show that. You can't do this"?
In Turkey, no, not at all. No.
Well, that's good to know because
Yeah.
I'm just like,
No, Turkey's where I want to spend the holidays.
you want to spend your.
I mean, but
I'm
okay, where is Turkey exactly? So I get my navigation right.
so like there's let's say like there's Greece,
Okay.
and like right next to Greece, that's Turkey.
Okay, because I'm thinking a little further south, I
No,
guess.
No.
Turkey's not really in the Middle East. Like it's like the bridge between continents.
Wow, I need to go back to school, y'all.
I mean, yeah, like no one said anything to this film, but like it wasn't distributed largely. It just like only played in a festival.
Mhm.
And I mean, yeah, like there are some certain subjects in Turkey, like if you discuss about them, you would get into trouble. And like there are lots of journalists that are in jail right now. And freedom of speech is kind of a tricky thing in Turkey right now, but it is not like, oh, we're all terrorists and
Yeah.
like like it's completely different. But
Yeah.
there are like issues with freedom of speech, but it is also everywhere. Like it's more similar to Russia, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes complete sense.
Mhm.
So, is this your first movie?
Yeah, this is my first like,
Really?
feature film.
I would not have thought from looking at it.
Oh, thank
It's
you.
just, again, I just really, really like the visuals and the look of it. Do you have plans for making any more movies?
Yeah.
Can
I
you
hope
give us
to.
an idea what your next ones might be?
Tell us it's a comedy.
I mean, not comedy, but like I'm kind of going for like even like more watchable and like crazier,
Mm-hmm.
and
So more
kind
like
of mixing
surrealist
the
or so?
genres a lot more. And I don't know, like I've seen Holy Motors like 2 months ago. I've been seeing it like several times. So I want to do something like that. I mean, not exactly, but something like that. But yeah, I have like a couple of scripts in my mind, but they're all set in Istanbul because I have kind of this like very, very close bond with Istanbul. I live in New York right now, but
Mm-hmm.
I always also have that like nostalgia for Istanbul too. And it's a great city. Like
Yes,
I would
it's an amazing
yeah.
city. Not that I'm biased.
Not that she's
That's what
biased
happens
at
when you
all,
have
the
a
history
historian on a
buff.
program
Yeah.
over here.
She likes all the fun things. She knows, like, I don't even know where freaking Turkey is. I mean, come on, people.
So how's the reception been at South by and any of the other film
I haven't
festivals?
premiered yet,
Oh,
actually.
okay.
The film will premiere on Monday.
Are you nervous?
7. I'm not that nervous. I was actually very nervous in Turkey,
Uh-huh.
Istanbul, because it premiered in Istanbul Film Festival,
Yeah.
and it's like home, and everyone I knew was there, and I was like, oh, how are they going to react? But here I'm nervous, but at least I premiered somewhere else, so I can
You
guess,
got that
like,
under your
the-
belt
yeah,
already. You know how
audience,
it's
yeah.
done. Well, thank you so much for making it
No,
out. I
I-
really
thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
It was a good time. Have a great time at South by Southwest, and good job on the movie.
And Austin is great, too. Like, it's my first time here.
See?
So what is your favorite thing about Austin so far?
I don't know, just walking. I've been walking like the streets for 2 days, all day,
Yeah.
and it is just beautiful. The feel of it is, and if it's not a big city, but like it's not a town either.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah,
it's
they-
that kind of
everyone
nice
is,
mix
like,
in
very
between
friendly.
where
It's a
everybody
transitional place right
feels
now. I'd
happy.
say.
Yeah, and some like lots of things are going on here,
Yeah.
so that's
Yeah.
exciting too.
Well,
Well,
have
thank
a
you
great
so
time
much.
Thank you,
and good luck.
thank you.